Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are so fortunate to have His Grace Chandra Prabhu to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad-Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 8th chapter, and text number 1 to 11. Before giving the call to Prabhuji, I would like to request Anita Ramya Mataji to read the brief introduction about Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji, over to you.
Hare Krishna, Sundarangi Radha Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, and thank you, Mataji, for your service. Thank you, Prabhuji, for all your wonderful association and timing. And yes, here's a brief introduction about Prabhu. His Grace, Shyam Chandra Prabhu, is a disciple of Srila Bhakti Swarup's Damodar Swami Maharaj. Academically, Prabhuji holds double masters from Mumbai University, masters in analytical chemistry from Indian Institute of Science, and masters in marketing management. Professionally, Prabhu retired a few years back as global president, sales and marketing in a multinational company, and he occasionally conducts leadership training programs for corporates to motivate young leaders to achieve professional perfection based on Vedic wisdom. Spiritually, Prabhuji has a Bhakti Shastri degree from MIHE and Bhakti Vaibhav degree. Prabhuji serves Bhakti Vedanta Institute by giving Srimad-Bhagavatam classes on Saturdays. On the Grihastha front, Prabhuji and his good wife Sundari Mataji are married over 35 years and are blessed with two wonderful Grihastha sons, namely Amrendra Prabhu and Arjun Shaka Prabhu, who were raised in an ideal Krishna conscious environment. Post his retirement, Prabhuji and Mataji have relocated to Vrindavan. So here's a brief introduction about Prabhuji and all glories to all services of Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, and we are very fortunate to have Prabhuji with us on the call today. Once again, welcome Prabhu. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for the brief introduction, Mataji. Thank you for your wonderful services. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much, Prabhu, for giving your valuable time and association to us and to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Whenever ready, please take over the call, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. We are eagerly waiting to hear from you. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, you are muted. You need to unmute. Haribol.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
One second. Yes, am I audible now?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Very clear, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji and all the assembled Vaishnavas on the call. Thank you very much. Please accept my humble obeisances. As usual, it is indeed, always our great fortune to serve Bhakti Sangha Japa group and indeed for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. And in fact, before I even wish to begin, I wish to seek the blessings and prayers from each and everyone so that I can speak something that is useful, meaningful, and purposeful for today's 11 verses. I know I'm utterly unqualified to speak, and especially when there are no purports by Srila Prabhupada in the first 10 verses. And compounding to all that, I received the message from Her Grace Shama Gauri Mataji yesterday evening when I was busy in the Jagannath Rath Yatra celebrations at Sri Sri Radha Golokananda Temple in Hillsborough, North Carolina. So not much time was available, but I hope to sail through with all your blessings and prayers. And with that, let me begin with my invocation prayers of Bhagavatam also. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam ततो जयम् उदीरयेत् नष्ट प्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी. So, welcome all once again, and thank you very much, Anita Mataji, for a rather long introduction. I don't deserve all that, but you've been very kind. And so, let me share the screen for the verses today. I'll just share. So I hope the screen is visible.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Prabhuji.
Thank you. So we are discussing today on the 9th canto, chapter 8. We are beginning chapter 8 today, and the title of the chapter is The Sons of Sagara Meet Lord Kapil Dev. So there are 11 verses we are covering today. So what I will do is text 1 and 2, and the 11th one, I'll read the verses, and for the remaining verses, we will read the translation. Okay. So text number 1, which is on your screen now. Sri Shuka Uvacha Harito Rohita Sutash Champastasmad Vinirmita Champapuri Sudevoto Vijayo Yasya Chatmajaha. Translation. Srila Shukadeva Goswami continued. The son of Rohita was Harita, and Harita's son was Champa, who constructed the town of Champapuri. The son of Champa was Sudeva, and his son was Vijaya. Text number 2. Bharukastat sutastasmad vrikastasyapi bahukaha soribirita bhuraja sabharyo vanam avishat. The son of Vijaya was Baruka, and Baruka's son was Vrika, and Vrika's son was Bahuka. The enemies of King Bahuka took away all his possessions, and therefore the king entered the order of Vanaprastha and went to the forest with his wife. So from text 3 onwards, we will just read the translation in the interest of time. Bahuka died when he was old, and one of his wives wanted to die with him, following the Sati rite. At that time, however, Aurva Muni, knowing her to be pregnant, forbade her to die. Text number 4. Knowing that she was pregnant, the co-wives of the wife of Bahuka conspired to give her poison with her food, but it did not act. Instead, the son was born along with the poison, therefore he became famous as Sagara, one who is born with poison. Sagara later became the emperor. The place known as Ganga Sagara was excavated by his sons. 5 and 6. Sagara Maharaj, following the order of his spiritual master, Aurva, did not kill the uncivilized men like the Talajangas, Yavanas, Shakas, Ayyas, and Barbarous. Instead, some of them he made dress awkwardly. Some of them he shaved clean but allowed to wear mustaches. Some of them he left wearing loose hair. Some he half shaved. Some he left without underwear. and some without external garments. Thus, these different clans were made to dress differently, but King Sagara did not kill them. 7. Following the instructions of the great sage Aurva, Sagara Maharaj performed Ashwamedha sacrifice and thus satisfied the Supreme Lord, who is the Supreme Controller, the Super Soul of all learned scholars, and the knower of all Vedic knowledge, the Supreme Personal of God. But Indra, the King of Heaven, stole the horse meant to be offered at the sacrifice. 8. King Sagara had two wives, Sumati and Keshini. The sons of Sumati, who were very proud of their prowess and influence, following the order of their father, searched for the lost horse. While doing so, they dug into the earth very extensively. Text 9 and 10. Thereafter, in the northeastern direction, they saw the horse near the ashram of Kapila Muni. Here is the man who has stolen the horse, they said. He is staying there with closed eyes. Certainly he is very sinful. Kill him, kill him. Shouting like this, the sons of Sagara, 60,000 in all, raised their weapons. When they approached the sage opened his eyes. Then last verse, the 10th text number 11. Here we'll recite the verse also. Swashariragniya tavan Mahendraritachetasah Mahadvyatikramahatta Bhasmasad Abhavan Kshanat. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktan Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By the influence of Indra, the king of heaven, the sons of Sagara had lost their intelligence and disrespected a great personality. Consequently, fire emanated from their own bodies and they were immediately burned to ashes. Purport. So finally we are seeing a purport. The material body is a combination of earth, water, fire, air, and ether. There is already fire within the body. And our practical experience is that the heat of this fire sometimes increases and sometimes decreases. The fire within the bodies of the sons of Sagara Maharaj became so much hotter that all of them got burnt into ashes. The fire's increased heat was due to their misbehavior towards a great personality. Such misbehavior is called Mahad Vyatikrama. They were killed by the fire of their own bodies because of insulting a great personalities. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Prabhupada ki jai. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langeti girim yat kripatamam vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Tadali Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna and welcome all once again to this Srimad-Bhagavatam session on behalf of the entire group of Bhakti Sangha. I have pleasure in welcoming all of you. So the topic is very interesting. Therefore, I have named it as the anatomy of pride and the power of great souls. So we will see what comes out from this discussion of this chapter, which is titled "The Sons of Sagara Meet Lord Kapila," and we are on Bhagavatam 9th canto, 8th chapter, beginning from 1 to 11. That we are planning to cover today. So this chapter continues with the study of the descent of the Solar dynasty, the lineage of the Solar dynasty. The first two verses, they cover the complete 8 or 9 generations that are coming after Harish Chandra. We saw Harish Chandra in the previous chapter, and of course that ended with Rohita. So from Rohita came Harita, Harita Champa, Champa made Champapuri, and from Champa came Sudeva, from Sudeva Vijaya, from Vijaya Bharuka, then Brika, and then finally Bahuka. And from Bahuka is what we are discussing now, that is Sagara. Now, if you ask any school-going boy, can you please tell me the dynasty of Raja Harishchandra? He will look totally, perplexed and dazed, and he will say that this is out of syllabus. This is not something that is taught in the school. But whereas if you ask him the dynasty of the Mughal kings, starting from Babur, cut, he will say everything up to Bahadur Shah Jafar, Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, and so on and so forth. Everything will come out. Because that is what is taught in the school. That's a plight of our education, that the great so-called Rajarishis who formed the real pillar of our existence in Bharatvarsha, they are completely ignored. So the entire this Suryavamshi dynasty is described in the 9th canto, and especially in the 8th chapter, we see this complete descendants of King Rohit are described. And this chapter also is dedicated to the greatness of King Sagara, So it actually begs a question. Somebody might ask, why does Sukadeva Goswami spend so much time, investing so much time in giving all this gyan of the details of one king after another king after another king in this dynasty at all? All the more when Parikshit Maharaj has got so much limited time. Maybe now out of 7 days, 5 days have gone, or 4 days have gone, and 2 to 3 days are only remaining. And in that, is it essential to discuss all this dynasty? The reason is very, very simple. The listener wants to quench his thirst, as Parikshit Maharaj, and the speaker, Srila Sukadeva Goswami, wants to satisfy him, because both are pure devotees and they recognize each other's purity. So such discussions are never categorized as a waste of time, because both speaker and listener are drenched and intoxicated in bhakti. Bodhayanta parasparam, tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So they basically take pleasure in hearing the pastimes of the Lord, not only of the Lord, anything that is connected with the Lord. His associates, his descendants, his predecessors, everything come under the purview of the Lord. So we should not think that we can skip this kind of sections and rather focus only on the Canto 10, which is full of juice because it is involving Lord's direct pastimes. In fact, Srila Prabhupada warns us against doing that, and instead we should go step by step, page by page, become a sage. So we should immerse ourselves systematically in discussing so that we are preparing ourselves before we enter into the Canto 10. And this kind of description of the dynasty is not a Gramya Katha. Gramya Katha na sunibe, Gramya Katha, Gramya Varta na kahibe. So, Gramya Katha is something that is of the mundane world. Bollywood, politics, frivolous activities, sports, all those things. Those are Gramya Katha, where it has got nothing to do with the Lord and Lord's associates. So why is this not a Gramya Katha, what we are discussing today? Because in this dynasty, as we speak, the great Maryada Purushottam, Lord Chandra, will advent soon. And his greatness gets further exemplified, when we hear the greatness of his forefathers, their lineage, their qualities, the tradition, the culture, all that leads to the appearance of Lord Ramchandra in this same dynasty. So when we discuss like this will please the Lord also. So in this dynasty, like in the previous chapter, we learned King Harishchandra was described, and we understood that he was tested for his truthfulness. When we were small kids, when we were speaking truth, our friends used to mock us. Do you think you're Harishchandra, that you're speaking so truthful? So that is the kind of impact that King Harishchandra has left for his truthfulness and adherence to the word that is already Vakya, that is already given. So there is already a precedence of this before the advent of King Raghu, another great king in the dynasty, and later Lord Ramchandra. रघुकुल रीत सदा चली आई, प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए, राम सिया राम जय जय राम, राम सिया राम जय जय राम, सियावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. So all this is preparation before the Lord himself advents. And Raghukul Reet was what? The Reet was that King Raghu was ready to give his life, for the sake of protection of the cow, because he had given his Vakya. So that word that he has given for him is more valuable than his own life. So with this mood, dear devotees, let us dive into our discussions. So we saw in verses 2 and 3, Bahuka, King Bahuka, who was also another king. He was one of the kings just before the father of Sagara. So he was defeated by his enemies, and his enemies stole away all his property, everything, kingdom, land, everything was stolen. And as a result, he had no choice but to exile himself into the forest, and he took Vanaprastha. And then while he was in Vanaprastha, unfortunately, a stage came when he left his body also. So he left behind several queens. He was married to several queens. So one of the queens who was very much attached to him, she was preparing to perform sati. That is, jump into the husband's funeral pyre and give up her life. So this sati is basically grossly misunderstood, in the modern times, and it is abolished also. As we know, the government has abolished sati. But sati, as per the earlier times, is actually a subtle science, and it is very difficult to be understood in the lens of modern science or modern viewpoint. So here, what happens is sati, the devoted wives, they try to attain the same destination as their husbands, as they considered their husbands as their guru. So they were following the complete like footsteps. So this was the practice that was followed by the Kshatriya queens. The Kshatriya queens were not afraid of giving up their bodies at all, because these Kshatriya queens, also known as Shatranis, Shatranis, Shat itself means the act to cut. Shat trayate iti Kshatriya. So cutting means they will be, they don't, they're very brave to go and fight in the wars. For the sake of the fighting spirit, they can do anything in the war. But most importantly, they are detached from their body also. So they could easily cut the bondage that one has with one's body. So this is the real science and meaning of sati. Basically following the same destination that the husband would achieve, because they considered their husband as their only guru. However, it's, in the modern times, it is considered like a barbaric act, and therefore it has been abolished. So better not to discuss much about sati now. But this is basically a sacrifice or a yagya in its own right. But now there is another angle to it. The ladies who were prepared to commit sati, they are not allowed to commit sati also in case if they are carrying baby in their womb. So that is the one of the conditions also, samskaras, you can say. So as by the will of providence, this queen who wanted to commit sati was stopped by their Kuluguru, that is Aurva Muni. So he stopped her and said that we have to protect your baby who is growing in your womb, and therefore you cannot commit sati. So it is not in our samskara. So you see how Krishna protects, Rake Krishna Mare Krishna Rake Ke. So as a result, the child was born. The child was born, as we can see in the verses 3 and 4, and the child was basically Sagara. So Auro Muni, the sage, he intervened and he stopped the queen from performing sati. And it also shows the importance of protecting the progeny who happens to be a devotee. Of course, we should protect all progenies, but here the Lord himself actually intervened, just like how the Lord intervened when the womb of Mother Uttara was attacked by the Ashwatthama's Brahmastra. Lord entered and protected that womb, and the child was Parikshit Maharaj. So Krishna protected Parikshit Maharaj. So in the same way, either the Lord or his representatives, in this case Auro Muni, he intervened and he stopped the queen from performing sati, and as a result, the child was protected. Excuse me. So when the other queens, that is the co-wives of King Bahuka, who passed away, when they came to know that this one queen is pregnant and she's about to deliver, they tried to kill the child by feeding poison in the food, that was mixing poison in the food that was fed to this queen. So you can see how much enviousness existed even at that time. We talk of enviousness in Kali Yuga, but here this we are talking is Treta Yuga. So enviousness existed. So it's existing since time immemorial. And they felt that if this child is born, then this child will be the only inheritor of the entire Lord King's kingdom, or his whatever is left behind. So it was enviousness. They could not bear that. Does it sound quite familiar to all of us? No, we have heard this before also in the case of Dhruv Maharaj, when his stepmother Surichi, prevented him from sitting on his father's lap, leave alone ascending to the throne. And then she hurled abusive and sharp words upon him, due to which he went to the forest. So it has happened. And in Ramayana itself, we are so familiar. In that also it has happened. Mother Kaikeyi wanted Rama to be exiled to facilitate her son Bharat to become the king of Ayodhya. So all this is due to the only cause of enviousness. However, now Sagara was saved. Sagara was not affected by the poison. So, Rake Krishna Mare Ke. So Sagara was born, and so this Gara, what a name has been added to him is because of the poison. Sagara, Gara means poison. Yes, Chitraketu also, you're right. So since birth, he was so powerful that he could counter this poison. And as a result, he became, one of the great emperors of all times. So his greatness has to be understood. That's why Sukdev Goswami is spending so much time. Even though Parikshit Maharaj has got limited time in his hands. So Sagara grew up and he had two wives, as it is mentioned, Sumati and Keshini. And Sumati had several thousands of children. It is mentioned 60,000. Unbelievable, isn't it? So while describing the greatness of Sagara, Sukdev Goswami also talks about how he could conquer the 10 directions by performing different types of sacrifices and mainly following the instructions of their Kuluguru Auramuni. So the sacrifices made the king more and more powerful, and thus he became the emperor of the entire planet. So what we understand from this is that, see, most of these ancient kings, they were not just kings, they were Rajarishis. So they had two important qualifications. One is they had the spiritual knowledge, spiritual qualification or spiritual knowledge, which means they had the knowledge of the science of soul. They had the knowledge. And apart from that, they had the real Kshatriya spirit or the prowess. Physically they were very powerful. They were experts in martial arts because they had to prove and subjugate their other kings, and only then they were gaining their respects. Otherwise, if they are not so strong, nobody will respect them. So spiritual knowledge with the help of these gurus help them to rule their subjects with the proper dharma, or in the righteous way they could rule. And as a result, they were accepted as emperors by the other kings, especially when they perform yagyas and all, Ashwamedha yagya and all. So they are the most powerful then. Now, despite all that, some kings turned out to be notorious also. We have studied the same scriptures, despite having these two qualifications, like Ravana, Hiranyakashipu, They too had knowledge, complete spiritual knowledge they had, but they misused the knowledge because they did not have the highest goal, vision. It was only the mean mentality that they developed. So some of these kings, when they receive this knowledge through family or tradition, ancestors, guru, they follow in a proper way. And using their free will, etc., they rule the people. But most importantly, they protected their subjects, the praja, very well, and also protected against the enemies. That was their main function. So, talking of the qualities of Sagara, in his quest for how he was successful, is given nicely in 5 and 6 verses, where Sukadeva Goswami is glorifying his power, how he could conquer the various different types of clans that is mentioned. He was compassionate, but still he was a strong Kshatriya by Dharma, and he didn't hesitate to punish the miscreants. And always he followed the instructions of his spiritual master Auro Muni. So one of his main qualities was he never killed these uncivilized men, as it is mentioned in the verse. This Talajangas, Yavanas, whatever, Shakas, Ayas, Barbaras, and all those people. He never killed them, even though they were at fault or they were uncivilized, as it is mentioned. Instead, what he did was he made them look ugly externally. Like some were half shaven, some were made to dress awkwardly. In some cases, he made them, he blackened them, or he made them walk naked without any clothing or any external garments, all those things, because that's an insult. At the same time, he did not kill them also. So, most importantly, we should take the lesson from here is that Sagara did not act whimsically. Even though he is powerful, he clearly followed his guru's instructions, Auro Muni's instructions. So when we sing daily in Sri Guru Vandanam, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Sitete Koriya Aikya Arana Kori Moro Mane Asa. So Guru's words emanating from his lotus mouth are my only means for sustenance and to purify my consciousness. So, and thus when we purify our consciousness, we aspire to attach or get attached to the lotus feet of Sri Guru. And that is the only perfection that, or the desire that one aspires for. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya. So, as a result, by following this Guru's Auro Muni's instructions, Sagara decided not to kill these uncivilized clans, and he punished them in different ways because he was a Kshatriya. So loose hair, no external garments, etc. that we discussed. And these kings normally, to gain their prowess, to show their powers and to gain prowess and to gain more power, and to show to the entire planet that they are the most powerful, they resort to different types of sacrifices, yagya. So one such instruction that Auro Muni gave to Sagara, King Sagara, was to perform Ashwamedha Yagya. And because he was a Rajarishi, this Yagya was performed with the only intention to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, not for its any personal benefit. Like Prithu Maharaj, we know, he was an ideal king who did everything only for Loka Kalyan. So for that, he did not worship, any demigods and all that. So these kings, they know that the goal of worship is to worship Lord Vishnu. Yat karosi, yat yasnasi, yat josi dadasi yat. Yat tapasyasya kauntaya tat kurushasva madarpanam. So in this way, when they perform yagya, including Ashwamedha yagya, which includes the horse sacrifice, they basically try to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the ultimate controller, as it's mentioned. You know, Supreme Personality of God is ultimate control, the super soul for everyone. The learned scholars, whatever, whoever may be the learned scholar, he is the knower of all Vedic knowledge. Vedescha sarver ahameva vedyam. Vedantakrit Veda with eva chaham is a Vedantakrit Vedavid. So King Sagara, you know, he tried to do all these things in a very virtuous manner for Loka Kalyan, proper governance, you know, so that there will be a lot of prosperity in the kingdom. The evils can be destroyed. You know, sometimes there are a lot of evil spirits also. They can be destroyed by this. Now, while this is going on, there is one person who always gets jittery in the heavenly planet, the king of the heavens. That is Lord Indra himself. Whenever Indra sees a powerful person on planet Bhuloka, and the person goes on performing 100 sacrifices, up to 99 is okay. But if he touches 100 or even crosses 100, that means he has got the potential to replace King Indra. That is the prerequisite. You have to do 100 Ashwamedha Yagya. So here, King Sagara had completed his 199 Yagya, and he was preparing to do the 100th Yagya. That's when King Indra did what he's very good at doing. And he has done it several times, isn't it? We come across in different chapters King Indra coming and stealing the horse at the last minute. So King Indra, he did the same thing now. He came and he stole away the horse, and the Ashwamedha Yagya, you know, could not be completed. It was stalled. So this depicts the enviousness of King Indra also. So we saw how envious Indra was even when the Lord asked his father Nanda Maharaj to stop Indra worship. And he said, instead you can worship Govardhan. Then the Govardhan Leela, Indra was very much upset, very angry. And he showed his might by attacking the Vraja with, you know, thunderbolt and showers and everything. So it seems that even the high-ranking demigods, you know, it seems difficult that to overcome the nature of enviousness. So here what we see in the next verse, that is verse number 8 to 10, the moment Sagara's sons, that means the son of Sumati, 60,000 sons, they came to know, they were very much angry and upset that their father now is held up for completing the Ashwamedha Yagya, and who has stolen this horse. So King Sagara ordered them to find the horse. So as obedient sons, they went, but they were puffed up because they were very, very proud of their descent, you know. And as a result, they said, we'll somehow find this horse. We will not, you know, let the person who has steal, we'll not let him go free, scot-free. We'll punish him. So with that mood, they set on to look after that particular person. And as they were passing from different places, you know, they started excavating the portion of the earth also. And as a result, you know, the Sagar was formed. You know, the place Ganga Sagar is basically coming out of the excavation of some part of the earth by the sons of Sagara. So what is to be noted here is that the activities that these sons performed was full of passion, pride. It's called as Ugra Karma. So Ugra is a activity, I mean, when you perform in the state of contaminated consciousness. That means you are not in the mode of goodness, you are completely in the mode of passion and also a little bit of ignorance. When they combine, automatically this Ugra Karma activity starts. So they became very restless and became very much envical towards Indra when they came to know that Indra has, stolen this. Sometimes controlled passion is good. Little bit of passion is required. Otherwise, Brahmaji himself could not have, created, been in charge of the secondary creations, isn't it? But Brahmaji, despite the passion, he followed the instructions of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. That means you have to have a guru to follow the instructions. Then that passion plus the instruction coming from the guru, you can do something like a creation. Creativity will come. Otherwise, it is destruction. If we follow the dictates of our own mind, it is going towards destruction. So this kind of pride coming from the prowess of this, capabilities of these people, it completely blinded this 60,000 sons of King Sagara. And they did finally find the horse. And this also was Brahma's trick. What Brahma did was Brahma stole the horse and he hid it near the hermitage of a meditating sage, Kapila Muni. Near his ashram, they hid there. So when these sons came there and they saw that this horse, they spotted the horse and they saw this sage was meditating, immediately, from their pride, anger came. And this anger was uncontrollable anger. Anger, when it crosses the limit, becomes a danger. That's why we say that anger is one letter short of danger. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa, Sangas Teshu Pajayate, Sangat Sanjayate Kama, Kama Krodho Vijayate. So automatically when the anger comes, so here because of they were attached, so this Sangha was basically, contemplation was basically pride. From that pride, anger came. And because they were not able to control the anger, then what happens? Samoha, Krodhat Bhavati Samoha, Samohat Spriti Vibrama. Spriti Brahmasad Buddhi Nasho, Buddhi Nashat Pranashyati. One after another, destruction. So it's a chain of cycle of destruction. And it leads to complete loss of intelligence, Buddhi Nasham. And this is exactly what happened to the 60,000 sons. And because of that, they were, in that anger, they were completely, they used words like very harsh words. They said that, kill him, kill him. When they saw the sage sitting there, they said, kill him, kill him. He's the cause of stealing our father's horse, which is to be used for the yagya. Without even thinking whether he's innocent or somebody else's trick, nothing. Directly they came to the conclusion. So this behavior, as is mentioned in this verse, as because you you cross the limit, you cross the maryada, and then you come to the stage. So that is what exactly happened, which is explained in verse number 11. स्वशरीर अग्निनतावन् महेन्द्ररितचेतसः महद्व्यतिक्रमहात भस्मसात् अभवन् क्षणात्. So see, in one moment, they were so much fueling in their own anger. Prabhupada says in the purport that such misbehavior is called mahadvyatikrama. महद्व्यतिक्रमा मीन्स मर्यादा को जो अब क्रॉस करेंगे बाउंड्री को, मर्यादा व्यतिक्रमा हो जाता है, ट्रांसग्रेशन. इन इंग्लिश वी से ट्रांसग्रेशन, व्यतिक्रमा. So there is two types of transgression. One is atikrama and vyatikrama. Atikrama is something like atyahara prayashascha. You become greedy and you start transgressing the boundaries of maryada for self gain. You are not, thinking about other person's welfare. You only think about yourself. Like some people, when there is an open land in India, it's a very common thing. When somebody's land is open, vacant for a long time, you see after some years, somebody else comes and occupies it, trespassers, without even checking whether it belongs to somebody or not. So, in other words, not following the Ishavashyam principle. Ishavashyam idam sarvam yat kincha jagatyam jagat tena tvaktena bunjita magrida kasya swadhanam. What is the Ishavasya principle? Everything in this world, whether it is animate or inanimate, what is in the universe, everything that is belongs to the Lord. Everything, He is the owner of everything. So one should therefore accept only those things which are necessary for himself. And this is basically our quota. What is in your quota, whether you make atihara or whether you're not, you will get it for sure. And when we try overexert to get what is not in our quota, that becomes atikrama also. We sometimes cross that boundary. Like Prabhupada used to give the examples of Hira Chor and Kira Chor. Somebody who steals Hira, diamond, Hira means diamond, valuable diamond, is also a chore. We know he's a chore. Somebody who steals Kira is cucumber in a vegetable market, he's also a chore. But the degree seems to be Kira chore, what is that? Something like 2 rupees, 3 rupees, and nothing. But Prabhupada says Hira chore, Kira chore, both are thieves only. So we should be very clear. We should not cross the boundary, because little bit of crossing, will become like a Kira chore. And when we cross the boundary more, then automatically the mind will say, oh, I've done this, so let me do more, let me do more, let me do more. And then we become Hira chore. That is Atikrama. But here, the word that is used is Vyatikrama. So Vyatikrama is something, transgressing is more dangerous. Atikrama can be reversed by reformation and all that, but Vyatikrama to reverse is very difficult, because in Vyatikrama we are crossing all borders of etiquette, everything, and we willingly try to, if required, even kill the person, because for us that is nothing, no value for the person's life also. So something similar these people did here. The sons of Sagara, 60,000 sons from one of his wives, Sumati, because they were so much intoxicated with pride that anger overtook them and resulting into self-burning, So when they saw that sage sitting there, they shouted, kill him, he's the culprit. So when they shouted loudly, the sage, Kapil Muni, opened his eyes, as, let me see whether, so the sage opened his eyes, and if he wanted, the sage from his own power of the, because, somebody who's having the yogic power can destroy if he's disturbed, the other person. If the sage wanted, he could have done that. But here, what Prabhupada says is, because of the Vyatikrama that they committed, and we have the various elements in our body, earth, water, fire, air, ether. So the fire element, increased so much. The fire element increased so much that automatically that same fire destroyed them. The same fire destroyed them. So the analogy that is given here is that it's like Vyatikrama is like the mad elephant offense. Hati Mata. As we see here, most of the Vaishnavas have to guard against this kind of Vaishnava aparad that is leading to this kind of Vyatikrama or mad elephant offense. Yadi Vaishnava aparada uthe Hati Mata Upadeva Chinde Tarasuki Yaya Pata. So you have to guard. This is, our bhakti is like a devotional creeper. It is growing. But suppose if you allow a mad elephant to enter a garden, then it will uproot all the trees, plants, flowers, everything. So in the same way, when we allow ourselves to this to have this kind of Vaishnava aparadh, which is like a Vyatikrama, then automatically this trees which are growing, Bhakti Lata Bij, Bhakti tree which is growing inside, that will be completely uprooted and destroyed. All the efforts will count for nothing. So we have to guard against Vaishnava Aparadh. That's one of the biggest lesson we can learn from this episode. It can destroy our entire years of spiritual progress. We will talk about 3 examples before we end up the session. The first thing that comes to our mind from Chaitanya Charitamrita is the example of Gopala Chapala. How Gopala Chapala committed the Vaishnava Aparadh against Srivas Thakur and what punishment he got. Gopala Chapala, and all this happens, by the way, because of enviousness. All this Vaishnava Aparadh also is purely because of enviousness. So Gopala Chapala was envious that the selected group of people are being called inside Srivas Thakur Angar for this kirtans and bhajans and all that. So what is going on there? So he wanted to defame Srivas Thakur, and as a result, what he did, quietly he kept outside his home a piece of animal flesh and some alcohol, liquor, etc. He kept there, so that people will think that what is going on inside is nothing but Kali Puja, Kali worship, and not something different. See, the flesh is kept there, and see, after all that, they're getting intoxicated. So he wanted to defame Srivas Thakur and the entire associates of Mahaprabhu. The moment Mahaprabhu came to know, immediately, this is a very serious offense that Gopala Chapala has committed. And very soon, what happened? Gopala Chapala was inflicted with leprosy. So one cannot escape the offense. So till the time you come back and ask for forgiveness, and until the person whom you offended forgives you, no one, even Lord himself, will not forgive. As we understand from another story in Bhagavatam, Durvasa Muni, such a great yogi, one of the most feared yogi of all scriptures, Durvasa Muni. He committed a serious Vaishnava aparadh too against virtuous king, devotee king Amrish Maharaj, for a very, very small offense. Very small. It's not an offense actually, because Parayan time was already happened, and then that also through Jal, he broke his fast. And Durvasa Muni came, and from his hair, he created the demon to kill Amrish Maharaj. So that was a great Vaishnava aparadh he committed. And immediately the Lord released his Sudarshan Chakra. And the Sudarshan Chakra not only killed the demon, but he chased Amrish Maharaj, chased Durvasa Muni everywhere. Nobody could save him. Lord Shiva could not save, Brahmaji could not save. Before that, even the heavenly planets, Indra, nobody could save him. And finally went up to Vishnu Lok. Lord Vishnu also said, sorry, I'm bound by my devotees. So you have offended one of my most dear devotees, Amrish Maharaj. So you better go back to him and you ask for forgiveness. So Durvasa Muni had to come all the way back and ask for forgiveness by falling at his lotus feet. And only after Amrish Maharaj forgave him, the chakra was stopped its activity on Durvasa Muni. So this is a great Vaishnava aparadh, Vyatikrama. And then again in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we come to know of the offense that Ramchandra Puri committed against his guru, Sri Madhavendra Puri. So Madhavendra Puri had 2 disciples, Ramchandra Puri and Ishwara Puri. Ishwara Puri is the guru of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So what was the offense of Ramchandra Puri? So the example of Durvasa Muni was enviousness from anger. The example of Gopala Chapala was enviousness, anger from enviousness. The example of Durvasa Muni was enviousness from anger. And the example of Ramchandra Puri is enviousness coming from jnana. So enviousness has got roots coming from different branches. So what was the reason here, Ramchandra Puri? Because he felt he was very much knowledgeable, and when his guru, Sri Madhavendra Puri, was in his final stages of leaving his body, you know, Madhavendra Puri was in a different world altogether. You know, he was tears were dripping from his eyes because he was completely in spiritual emotions, thinking of the separations from Srimati Radharani and Krishna. But Ramchandra Puri saw it from the lens of mundane emotions because he was not a devotee in that sense. A normal, mundane. So he basically advised his guru to focus on Brahman, impersonal Brahman. So this is Maryada Vyatikrama. This is Maryada Vyatikrama. So he transgressed from his normal etiquette. And what did Ishwara Puri do instead? He chose the appropriate verses to narrate at that time, which matched the spiritual emotions of his guru. So both were in Guru Seva only. One was perfectly engaged in Guru Seva, and one thought he's engaged in Guru Seva. Both were practitioners for a long time, and but one was doing an offense, and one was doing a proper Seva. So this is what we come to learn from this whole episode. And as you can see here, you know, two different things we learn from the episode of King Sagara. What has happened till now, up to the 11th verse. King Sagara was properly following the guidance of his guru, Aururva, and he was a restrained king. And because of the instructions he was taking from his king, he was developing immense power. And because he was a devotee, he was also protected by the Lord from the internal poison. As a result, he became the emperor and conquered the entire world because he samsiddhir haritoshanam. He fulfilled the desires of Lord Hari. On the other hand, the 60,000 sons of his one of his wives, Sumati, they were guided by complete pride, driptaha. And when pride came, you know, automatically this it overcame into anger, and they started from the anger. They started abusing their power, and this internally destroyed because the fire of pride developed so much that they came to the level of Mad Vyatikrama. They abused, insulted the sage Kapila Muni, which brought their own downfall. So therefore, the lesson we learn is that when we follow the path of bhakti, we must not keep any scope for pride. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsarya. None of these anarthas should be even, because these anarthas will again destroy the wheat. But when we practice through surrender and humility, then automatically the Lord's mercy will come. Tesham evanukampartam aham ajnana jam tamaha nashayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena vasvataha. So he will show his special mercy by dwelling in the hearts, destroying our ignorance through the shining lamp of torch of knowledge, and this darkness will go. And how does the Lord does that? By sending a guru, his representatives, bona fide representatives. And when we follow the guru's instructions, tadvidi panipatena pariprashnana sevaya upadekshanti jnanam te jnanam upadekshanti jnanam jnaninam tattva darshana. So automatically, like a Bluetooth transfer, the knowledge gets transferred. That is the real knowledge that comes. And our Seva Bhava will also increase. Real transformation happens at that time. Otherwise, it will be just knowledge, just information, but not transformation. And once that transformation happens, then we come to the stage of Vasudeva Bhagavati, Bhakti Yoga Projitaha. And then Vairagya will automatically come. Detachment and Vairagya will automatically come. So with that, I would like to end. my today's session. I stop it here. Thank you very much, dear devotees, for your kind presence and giving me your nice, loving, wonderful association. If there are any reflections, thoughts, or questions, please come forward. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisance. Srila Prabhupada, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for such a wonderful session. A very beautiful comparison you gave, and it was and nice pastimes also you had quoted. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. Dear devotees, any questions or realizations, please go ahead.
Looks like everyone is so immersed deep into the in the katha of the dynasty.
Hare
That,
Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, we are
We are
very, very
contemplating.
immersed. Yeah, we are still thinking the connections and all this. So many verses we covered today also. So most of them doesn't have purports because it is a continuation. But where there is a content, there we stop and discuss. And this is very, very nice because, as Mataji was saying, the connections that we get poisoning someone because of envy and all that, and also how the pride will come because of the positions and all these things. It is there even, this is maybe Satya Yuga only, right, Prabhuji? Because Dwapara Yuga will follow later.
yeah.
Treta Yuga.
So you imagine how it will
Yeah.
be as it advances.
Yes, yes. And also the different forms, how the king made his sons ugly look, and we are seeing such forms outside even today. They doesn't think as ugly that it became as a fashion like thing nowadays going outside like that.
Okay, I just wanted to ask, was the audio having some problem? Because I'm just checking some messages. It says audio is echoing.
No, Prabhuji, it is very, very clear. We can hear you clearly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Very, very
Yeah, it was
wonderful
clear.
class, Prabhuji. Yes. Hare.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Anybody else would like to ask questions? Yes, Priti Lasni Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for again coming on the call with a last minute invite. It was such a pleasure to hear from you. As usual, you're very scholarly in your presentations. Thank you so much. It gave full justice, Prabhu, for us to listen these verses, and also very nicely presented in the PowerPoint anatomy of pride, and these verses about this King Sagara, how he was born with the poison. And also, like our Mataji just mentioned 2 minutes back, whatever he did, the previous king, whatever he did as a punishment, today now has become a fashion. 90% of them are roaming around.
Very true. Very true. Thank you very much, Preeti Vilasini Mataji. Always very kind of you. You always bring out only my. I don't deserve anything, to be very honest, because I know my limitations. But you are so kind that in that also you try to bring out the something that you see, because it's all existing in you, so you're able to see that. But I'm not at all qualified to receive that. But thanks a lot, Mataji. Everything
Thank you,
all
Prabhu.
because of Vaishnavas only.
Thank
The only
you.
thing I
Thank
didn't
you.
have time to prepare because yesterday we were in the Rath Yatra in the temple here, and then by the time we came back, it was late. So just this morning, half 1 hour, I got that.
It's so amazing. 1 hour is coming out so beautifully with you. Thank you, Prabhu. Really beautiful. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you, Prabhu. Yes, of course, Mataji is so wonderful. She sees the good qualities in everyone. Thank you, Mataji, for that, and thank you for your association. Yes, of course. I like the point you said that Indra is feeling insecure, right? And in this age of Kali Yuga, we people means like I can say a few of them, including me, like we are also feeling so insecure, so that. Having that thinking that okay, if this it's a kind of greed, right? So we are having like if this person grows more than me, then what? How can I compete him? How can I do this to beat him? So that is the
Yeah, and
way.
meeting, what I feel is the hankering and lamentation, no? these things are chasing us. So we don't want to lament ultimately, and that is leading us into insecurity. So first of all, we crave for what we don't have, and then the insecurity comes that what if I lose this? Because if I lose, I'll lament. I don't want to lament. So it's I mean, we are lamenting for the wrong thing. Lamenting for the right thing, we should lament actually why are we in this material world. So that's why it's a soul's property. Why are we in this? That should be a lamentation. Instead of that, we are lamenting for the wrong thing, and that is leading us to all this enviousness.
Yeah, that's right, Prabhu. And also, I like the point of saying Vyatikrama and Atikrama, right? Atikrama is the one who's having self, means like
Greed.
he's doing for himself,
Greed,
like greed.
But yeah, I mean, you don't, you're basically crossing the boundaries for yourself. You know, I mean, you'll go to any level for yourself thing. You may not harm others in the process. Vyatikrama is you'll go cross that boundary also, and you can even harm. Like here, they wanted to kill him. They shouted, kill him, kill him. That is Vyatikrama. So that is the, you cannot be reversed. Atikrama can be reversed by transformation, by some reformation.
Yeah, so then Vyatikrama is a kind of offense, right, Prabhu Vaishnava? Is it that Vaishnava Aparati you are meaning?
Yeah. It is a very serious offense.
So then
And for Vaishnavas,
we see in this.
there is no greater offense than Vaishnava Aparad. That is Vyatikrama for us. I mean, if we are showing disrespect and abuse any Vaishnava, that is as good as killing his character.
Okay. And we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mother Shachi Devi did Vaishnava Aparad to Advaita Acharya. Is that also taken in this category? It was like she just uttered that, okay, it is because of him that these things happen. My elders are also left me. So
No,
is it?
No, that is not Vyatikrama. That is not Vyatikrama. That is, see, Lord's mother. First of all, we have to see which circumstances. It's Lord's mother and her love for the child. It's like Yashoda loving, baby Krishna. So in the same way, Sachi Mata had a tremendous love. She didn't want Mahaprabhu to go anywhere or become sannyasi like the elder son. So in that sense, it's not, I don't think she really meant from her heart that, this man is bad, Advaita Acharya. But it is just a feeling. So, but still, the Lord felt that even that was, even if it was on the surface level, even that also he considered. But in real sense, I would say that it's not, Vyatikrama. It's not really in that sense.
Okay. So I had that doubt, Prabhu. Thank you so much. So we have some raised hands. Pitambar Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Shyam Chandra Prabhu. My downward pranams to you all. Glories to Star Prabhupada. Prabhu, very grateful. Very grateful to you for such a wonderful presentation. And I was particularly surprised when you say you were given just 1 hour in the morning and then you came up with such a marvelous presentation. So grateful, Prabhu.
Lord Jagannath's mercy, Prabhu. Yesterday when I was pulling the Rath, I was thinking in my mind, what am I going to speak tomorrow? And suddenly this seva opportunity has come just, at that time by Shama Gauri Mataji. So I was not knowing what to do. But then I said, okay, whatever it is, I'll do my best.
Beautiful, Prabhu. The presentation was so mind-boggling. Each and every slide and each and every point you are, including the analogies you are giving, parallel analogies, and what, particularly 2.62, 2.63, what comes, and then chain of events. Beautiful. Speechless, Prabhu. Beautiful. So, Prabhu, I have got a couple of quick questions. The very first one I was thinking is of the lineage. I see from Srimad-Bhagavatam various instances where demoniac Hiranyakashipu gives birth, Kayadu gives birth to divine Prahlad Maharaj. But then the other side, same thing, the King Anga, divine, very devotee King Anga, gives birth to King Vena, totally demoniac. Here we see Sagara, so divine, through the wife Sumati gives 60,000 sons who are totally envious, totally burning into fire of anger. So, Prabhu, the question is, when why does this thing happen? I was thinking on that. Why does this happen? हम लोग जब भी अच्छे parents होते हैं, तो we give good samskaras to our kids, right? And then we expect them. Is it because of their karma which either misguided or properly guided, or is it something else which I can't understand, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. And then I'll come to the second one. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's very, very thoughtful and intriguing question also. I also all the time wonder, but basically what I feel, Prabhu, is that especially in scriptures, I'm not talking about our personal what we see in the mundane world, but in scriptures, the whole idea of scriptures is to teach us. Lord teaches us through scriptures by giving proper lessons. Now, when lessons are given, you need some contrast. If I put black color on a black spot on a black background, I will not see the spot. Whereas if I put a black spot on a white background, okay, contrasting, or some other background, I'll be able to see that black color very clearly. So here what Lord is teaching us, even though it may be a father-son relationship or mother-son relationship, little bit of contrast when he gives, then automatically both of them get enhanced in the process. Because ultimately all these characters, good and bad characters in the scriptures, are all Lord's parshads only, and they are all they go back home, back to Godhead. So by showing us the contrast, the bad also gets that much exemplified, so that it catches our our bhav, and the good also gets that much exemplified because it catches our bhav in that sense. Why do people when they go to the movie theaters, when they see that the hero is dying, they come out, and when they come out of the movie theaters, they come out crying. They have seen because they have seen that character in such a way that it has gone into their personality. They got absorbed into it. If that had not taken, and that is the whole idea of the director of the movie. He wants that to happen. So here, Krishna being the director, he wants us to get into that mood of see how bad this villain is, see how good this personality is. This contrast will not happen had it. This differentiation cannot be exemplified had the contrast not happened. So this is the main purpose, Prabhu, of the whole idea of contrast. Otherwise, if somebody has got a good samskaras in the past life, there is no reason why the father son should continue with the good samskaras. But then what lesson they are teaching? Everybody is good only then. Only when some bad character comes. So Vena came only to teach that, to prepare the advent of Prithu Maharaj. And Prithu Maharaj is the Shakti Avesh Avatar himself, Lord himself, because how he can be a perfect ruler, how he can be a perfect king, because the previous predecessor was a very bad person. He abused the cows, he abused the brahmanas, nothing, everything zero and negative. So now this becomes very high. So that kind of minus infinity to plus infinity dikhayenge, so automatically, that's how the teachings goes. And this is how the management gurus do in the corporate world. They present in such a nice way because they give you a background. Then the presentation has got a value. When I attended Stephen Covey's 8th Habit in 2008 in Oberoi Towers in Bombay, sponsored by my company, he was talking about the 7. He had already written the 7 great habits, and then this 8th great habit he was talking. And what was the great habit? The 8th habit, from highness to effectiveness. For effectiveness to greatness. So 7 habits were the habits of effectiveness, and now he's saying the 8th habit is from effective to greatness. So he went on to explain this, and then he said the 8th habit is hear your inner voice. The person who can hear the inner voice, he can cross all boundaries and he'll become the greatest person. I got up, I raised my hand. 2,000 audience, they Pearl Padamsi and all those people. I raised my hand and I said, this, what you're talking is there in our Bhagavad Gita. Hearing our inner voices, inner voice is our Paramatma. So when we hear our inner voice, that means I'm associating with spirituality. So now you're you're teaching us in a subtle way what is spirituality, which is there already in our scriptures. So he's nicely packaged it. And that's why he's a successful management guru. So this is the greatness of people, and Lord is the supreme, the great personality. So who can defeat or compete with him? But we can learn from him. So this is what Prabhu, my 2 cents on that. But
Oh,
your
absolutely.
advanced devotee probably will have
No,
a better
no,
answer.
no, 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 Prabhu. No, 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 Prabhu. We are inquisitive. Prabhu, yes, very nice. Bhagavad Gita already says that, that if greatness. Prabhu, when you were answering me, I'll come to the second question right now, but when you are answering this, it reminds me of Her Grace Priti Vilasani Mataji is already here, one of my great teacher in Bhakti Shastri. She taught in one of I'm forgetting, is it Ishopanishad or somewhere where we are taught that you should be able to learn the contrast, the both opposite side. Why? Because when you learn the left side, then only you will be able to appreciate the importance of the right side. So
Correct.
something like that.
Very true, very true. And also, Prabhu, there is do's and don'ts. So the do's teaches us what to do, and the don'ts teach us what not to do. So both happens actually parallel. If I focus only on the do's and without the don'ts are the weeds, and I'm allowing my weeds also to grow, at some stage my plant will be destroyed. So it has to happen simultaneously. Fertilizer for the plant and removing the weeds.
Absolutely. So we need to be able to see both sides of the coins. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhu. That's one. Second question, Prabhu. We know, Prabhu, demigods are very higher in powers, higher in intelligence, higher in devotional service. Of course, higher in bhoga also, but that's another thing. When they are higher in intelligence and higher in devotional services, I'm thinking of Indra. When will this gentleman learn his lesson? I'm nobody to tell him, but when will he? He keeps on committing mistake after mistake after mistake. Generally, and His Holiness Sadhana Swami Maharaj says, that a mistake is not a mistake if it is not committed twice. A mistake is not a mistake if it is not repeated twice. And Indra, we keep on seeing one after another. Here he is stealing Aswamedha. So Prabhu, I'm thinking he is Indra, he is demigod, he is given special powers. He has got higher intelligence, he has got higher bhakti than all of us jivas. Then why this thing? I can understand, yes, to perform, it's a Divya Lila of Krishna to be giving this type of intelligence, such that all this thing, the sweet pastimes come. But Prabhu, please throw some light. It's a puzzling question for me. When will this gentleman come to the senses? Maybe I'm committing an offense. He is Indra. I should not be, but it's
No,
inquisitive, Prabhu. Haribol.
no, the questions are in relation to the subject which is already discussed in the scripture, so it is not an offense, Prabhu, as far as my knowledge goes. And as far as the Devatas are concerned, especially Indra's, Prabhu, what I feel is that, see, these are all actually, all the Devatas are empowered souls by the Lord Himself. But because they are still in the material universe, uh, most of them are in the mode of goodness because they are in higher planets, and little bit they have to carry passion also with them, because without passion you cannot carry out administrative activities. No way. So goodness with little bit of mode of passion will sometimes take away from you uh, the element of the degree of surrender. See, the element of degree of surrender comes in Vishuddha Sattva, mode of pure goodness. So there you basically are nothing, and you just think that you are the dust at the lotus feet of the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant, nth order of the Lord. So that for that to come, that is devotion actually. So, but with that you cannot do the administrative affairs. So they have been appointed by the Lord. Because first of all, see, in the Bhuloka, there are many pious souls who need promotion. तो इनको प्रमोट करके कहाँ डालेंगे? इनको डायरेक्टली गोलोक में नहीं लेके जा सकते, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट qualified from that sense, but they are very good. They don't deserve to be in this Bhuloka also. So heavenly planets are created for such people, and that's why their positions are temporary also. Wicket करेगा, दूसरा आ जाएगा उसके जगह पे. Okay, so but they do carry little bit of passion, mode of goodness है, passion है, and they have to execute in the supervisory role, administrative roles. They have to have that, I'm doing this, I'm in charge of this department, I'm in charge of this department, and nobody is better than me in this department. Now this cannot come unless you are in the you are having that mode of passion.
Passion.
So that's my answer, Prabhu. I don't know whether it is convincing to you, but this is what I feel, Prabhu.
No, Prabhu. No, that's okay, Prabhu. That's wonderful, wonderful answer. Thank you so much, Prabhu. My Danvats to you again and again. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna,
Grateful
Prabhu.
to you. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Yes, I think there are no further questions. Mataji, so should we?
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
I have a question, Prabhu. Sorry to interrupt. I don't know how to raise the hand in this. I'm still learning the thing. So that's why I didn't raise my hand. So I just wanted to tell that point that Pitambradas Prabhu asked, no, why is there good and bad and everything and all that. So once in that Diti Maharani, I mean, I'm not sure if this is relevant, but you would please clarify me. You are more knowledgeable whether I'm right in telling that point. That Diti Maharani, when she asks for service thing and she gets the asuras, and then because of her bad nature, when she's telling like that, she's getting the asuras. So because of her this thing, and but because she regrets and then she wants good things, so she gets Kashyap Muni says Prahlad Maharaj will be born as her grandson because of her good thing. So it's because of our bad attitudes and good attitudes that we get something. For bad attitudes we get something, and for good attitudes we get something. So I think that is the reason that because of that we have all this bad and good contrast in everybody. We'll see even Dhritarashtra, because he killed so many birds, only he got 100 sons. He did so many punyas and everything, and again he got back 100 sons, and then again they die. So it's all because of our attitude, isn't it? So I mean, I don't know whether that is relevant to what he was saying about the contrast of good and bad. I mean, that point is relevant or not. I mean, Prabhu, you have to please clarify with your great
You're right.
knowledge.
You're right. Our past samskaras, our karma, our actions that we do today, that determines our next life, no? As we
Yes.
understand. And as far as Diti was concerned, primarily she conceived demonic children because she didn't listen to her guru husband.
Yeah.
And then the timing of the union was not appropriate, despite her guru husband telling her that this time is not appropriate, it is nearing sunset or whatever, that's not the right time. But she was insisting.
Yeah.
And therefore, he even warned her also that this could be the outcome.
Yes.
But she, because of the lusty and filled, so we understand all this, and it's a learning for us also in the process,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. All glories to you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, I see one hand raised, Himangi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you for giving the opportunity, and thank you for this very nice class. I just had a question which is kind of from the answer you just gave to Pitambar Prabhuji, that the demigods have to have some degree of passion, even though they are in a mode of goodness, to be able to perform the duty they have been given. Now, can that be extrapolated to situations where we are in a leadership position, and then the same principle applies, that we are to some degree in the mode of passion to be able to perform those activities? as compared to people, devotees who are not in leadership position? And does that affect our bhakti journey?
Very good question. Yeah, very good question. So, Srila Rupa Goswami has anticipated this situation because Rupa Goswami is not from Satya Yuga or Treta Yuga or Dwapar Yuga. He just came before us 500 years back, and he's our Acharya. I mean, we are Rupanugas, we are followers of his teachings because he directly inherited everything from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, he says that Yukta Vairagam is the right approach even for leadership positions. Nirbadhe Krishna Sambandhe Yukta Vairagam Uchate. So what we should do, we should try to imbibe the qualities because Lord himself says in Bhagavad Gita, isn't it, that if a leader is virtuous, and then his subordinates will follow whatever he teaches through his acharan. So leadership is all about following in the right direction. Like we had Prithu Maharaj also was an ideal leader. Okay, why we have to keep the examples of the Indra, Chandra, and all those people? We have got Prithu Maharaj also who was an ideal leader. So in leadership positions, we can still be Krishna conscious all the time. I have been in leadership position for many years before I came out of corporate life. So every time when there was a challenging situation, I invoked the Mahamantra internally. So internally, I am a devotee. Externally, I'll be like in the court suit, like what is required in the corporate life for a leadership position. But leadership position does not, when we are integrating with devotion, it teaches us only to be a good leader. It teaches us not to be a selfish person. It teaches us how to grow the person under you. A selfish leader will only try to do it for his own namesake, whereas a selfless leader will be somebody who will be who will take the back step. He will not try to be on the forefront, but he will be the person who has got that one key, and he knows that how to that one lamp, one switch that turns on all the lamps. That will be his mood. So it's a big subject. It can be done, Mataji, but it's going to be tougher. It's going to be tougher. So therefore, when we are practicing devotion at a very early age, a stage comes in our corporate life when we have an option of even thinking, should we jump into that position or should we sidetrack it and be happy with what I am. I don't need to do atiyahara prayascha. That is also an option given. But if we are capable of taking up that position and yet maintain our devotional standards and practices, then no harm, because then you become a role model. Absolutely. I mean, if a devotee like I should distribute Bhagavad Gita during the Gita marathon in the corporate world. I mean, when it comes as a leader, then what happens is people follow. So that's one good favor we can do to the community, isn't it? In the corporate life. So there are so many things one can do. You can have your own small temple in your cabin. You can have small altar. You can do arti. You can do before you start your day. You can recite few verses of Bhagavad Gita. Everything is possible. So we follow the right path and we execute the task aligning with the corporate goals, and we do it even better. That is what leadership in corporate life for a devotee is. Okay, Mataji?
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji. Very nice answer. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. All right.
Hare Krishna.
So,
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji, for that wonderful questions. So yes, of course, we are in this material world. We have to live our life with all the people. But internally, we should be praying to the Lord. But externally means outwards, we are like they seem to be like we seem to be like we are going along with them. So that's how we have to. That is a duality we have in spirituality, like how we have to take, means it's a kind of balanced life, right? So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for explaining that. So I find no more hand raise or questions in the chat box, Prabhu. So with your permission, we can end the session here. Dear devotees, let's pay our
Before
obeisance.
that, let me pay my humble obeisance to Lalita Mataji and Dinabandhu Prabhu. I had that wonderful association early in the few days back. Thank you so much, both of them for present. So, Vancha Kalpataru Vescha, Kripa Sindhu Bhavecha, Patidanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo,
अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की
Ki
जय।
Jai,
सद्गुरु
Jai,
श्री प्रभुपाद
Bhagavatam
की
Ki
जय।
Jai,
श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्यामचंद्र दास प्रभु जी की जय। जय गौर
Thank you,
प्रेमानंदे।
Prabhuji.
हरि
Hari
हरि
Bol.
बोल।
Gauranga, Nityananda.
हरि हरि बोल।
Hare Krishna, we
हरे
land the call
कृष्णा।
here. Hare Krishna.